Cool. What's up, guys?
Yo.
All right.
Yo.
What's up?
Let's wait here a minute and get people in, and then yeah, that mint was rough, I would say.
Yeah.
People that have bots though, the problem is they can get drained by like the bot protection that they put up on Candy or whatever, I guess.
Oh.
They're saying you can buy
That's what I've heard before. But
They're saying you can buy this, and this is a bot.
yeah, CyberKeys is a bot. People with bots do really well. Okay.
Mike Tyson just bought it.
There we go. All right. Okay. Let's start off with Wolf Game. I think Wolf Game would be a good starter.
Okay.
A lot of our members are, at least if they're not invested in it, they know of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
Did we ping it at all? Did we ping the podcast?
Oh, let me ping the podcast. Eden had made a really in-depth post on Wolf Game last week. A lot of us were a lot of our members were invested. I was invested. You were invested. I personally had exited at 0.7. Last night we continued to see Gen 1 sheep sit at 0.7, and they've since bounced up to 0.9. I think they're gonna hit 0.1 soon.
Or one full. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and it's really the shepherd, who's the owner of the project, keeps making announcements, and that really influences the price. Aiden, I don't know if you want to go more in depth about.
Yeah. So apparently, and I don't know exactly of all the details of the offer that the shepherd made, who essentially is the person who runs the project, like McKay said. But basically, he made an offer to the alpha wolves about potentially I believe it's some sort of reward system that'll be in place for them for participating and staying in the game in a way that would be more beneficial than trying to flip their alpha wolf for just ETH profit.
Yeah.
So it's more of a bet on the wool token, which is the in-game currency. So yeah, I mean, like McKay said, with each tweet and with each announcement, the hype and the anticipation for the game seems to grow. We've seen prices for sheep and wolves both decrease and increase, along with some in-game assets like land. I think we saw land go as low as 0.38. Now it's back up to 0.43. Look at something like a farmer that was 0.9, I believe, at the height, and now it's only 0.64. So we've seen fluctuations across there. The wool token has stayed relatively stable though, so we've seen it as low as 0.17 and as high as 0.22 cents. That's USD. Which is relatively, I mean, those aren't really violent swings, so it stayed relatively untouched by this, by the decreasing Bitcoin and Ethereum price. So it's interesting to see. I think, I'm looking for this game. Hopefully, the interim game, this is what they're calling it, to launch real soon, because I think the key to success here is keeping folks engaged and not selling out.
Yeah, I think that the entry here wouldn't be necessarily right now. I sold a lot of my Wolf Game stuff for solid profits, and I'm waiting right now for this interim game, and hopefully it loses some steam and hype, and there's a much better opportunity to enter before the full game. That's my play right now on it, because I do like the project. It's just I don't want to enter at these prices. The Gen 0 Wolves are up 3 Ethereum basically. They were at 10 a day or two ago, and now they're 13, and that's basically across the board. We're up 20-30% almost. So yeah, definitely had some good move.
Yeah, and the thing about Wolf Game is when we're talking about the floor, we're really just using the Gen 1 sheep, which is from their Wolf Game migrated collection, just to look at the floor. And really what we've seen is as sheep Gen 1 move upwards or downwards, the rest of the project kind of follows suit. And so I think that's what we're going to continue to see as the project moves on.
Cool. Okay. Azukis minting today. This was a project that reminded me of the Oni forces or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
We talked about this the other day, but they are minting today. What is it, 1 p.m. Eastern?
It kind of reminds me of the Sevens.
Oh, the Sevens, that's the project.
Yeah, it's 1 p.m. It's going to be a Dutch auction. And so there's no we don't know starting price yet, if I'm not mistaken. It's interesting though. So they're going to drop it by a certain interval every X amount of time. At the sellout price, they're going to take today's sellout price, divide that by 2, and then that's going to be that's going to be sold to whitelisters tomorrow for the remaining stock. So it's a fixed number of stock allocated for today's mint. Aiden, more about the specifics of the project. I know a lot of demands coming from overseas though.
Yeah, so 1 ETH starting price today, decreasing by 0.05 ETH every 20 minutes until it reaches a floor of 0.15 ETH. Really difficult to gauge here where this is going to sell out. I've seen some folks say it could go at around like 0.8 or 0.9, but also could go as low as like 0.4. I don't really see it going below 0.4 personally, given the hype of the project. And I also, if you think about like the price that it would be for the folks that are minting tomorrow at half price of whatever the Dutch auction sells at, I think like a safe price would be like 0.6 to 0.5 entry. That way those folks are minting at like half of that, which isn't that big of a difference. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully like a 0.4 to 0.5 entry today. But yeah, super bullish on the project. Ton of hype around it. It honestly is reminding me of like some of the mecha hype that we saw originally. I think it has a ton of potential, so I'm looking to buy in hopefully today. But if not today, I will be making an entrance on the secondary market.
So it's Dutch auction today, huh?
Dutch today,
that's right.
Mint list tomorrow, and then public mint on Saturday the 15th. And that will be, the price of the public mint will be the same price that the Azukis sold out at for the Dutch auction. So if it sells today at 0.5, it'll be 0.5 on Saturday.
Yeah, if one of you guys wants to put that information in our YouTube, we could do that. Somebody asked thoughts on buying land and farmers now. I would buy. I'm much more bullish on buying farmers because there's going to be no more farmers supposedly ever. So it's almost like buying Gen 0 sheep, in my opinion. So they capped at 11,700 instead of the 20,000 farmers. And these will be needed for using on your land, right? So I think like buying farmers, I bought a ton of farmers. I've sold everyone but one, and I think buying them below like 0.8 right now is probably a good play if it plays out the way that we're expecting Wolf Game to play out. Obviously some risk involved, but I think it's a good entry when you compare these to Gen 0 sheep, which are like 1.4 right now or whatever. So yeah, I think that the farmer would probably be my buy-in right now if I were going to buy in anything. So
I like that call. I think the farmers probably have the most room to grow out of all the other Wolf Game assets you can buy right now. I don't see land going much above like 0.5, but farmers we did see go quite high. So I like that call.
Yeah, they started to run heavy when the last, I'd say a week ago when it ran up nicely, farmers went up a lot, and I think it's because people realize there's only going to be 11,700, and they're going to have some good utility in the game. So yeah, that's a play on that. Somebody said starting at 1 ETH every... Yeah. Azukis, they start at 1 Ethereum today and drops 0.05 every 20 minutes until it would reach, if it reaches 0.15 Ethereum. So, yeah, it'll be cool to see what those sell out at.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead.
Should we talk looks?
Yeah, we can go over looks right now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, let's talk, before we dive into that airdrop, since we've already covered it a little, let's talk update on the Fees.wtf.
Oh, Fees.wtf, yeah.
Yeah, here, Vince, let me send you this tweet.
Let's see if I can get it here. Okay.
Okay, boom.
Got it.
Okay, so Fees.wtf, after several days of silence and a lot of people questioning their intentions, they said Discord now open, contracts available within 24 hours for public review. Launch follows shortly after. Let's see how many retweets this tweet can get. So yeah, that $WTF token soon come, and we'll see what the actual metrics of that airdrop look like as far as, you know, how much we're actually going to get in terms of Ethereum value, but really looking forward to it. My theory on this one is that the token's going to have a lot less utility than the LooksRare token, which obviously has utility in the form of it's a whole marketplace ecosystem. So I think that a lot of people that sold Looks early are going to try to hold this and hope for a similar gigapump, and I'm not sure if we're going to see it. So as of right now, my strategy is going to be looking to exit this airdrop on the earlier side of things, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I want to say something about before we look into Looks, just overall on these airdrops. I've been telling the guys this. I think I mentioned to Garrett first, like yesterday, the day before. It makes me feel that we are still incredibly early when you're able to make a large amount of money off of these airdrops from just basically interacting with the Web3 ecosystem. I mean, like, I don't want to get too into like like what I've done personally, but like when you like within an hour can make a large amount of money for basically free, that's going to, I think, continue at least for the next couple of months. And by just participating on OpenSea, participating in minting or whatever, you're being rewarded by these launches. So it's really incredible, and I think that we are still early in this Web3 stuff. It feels like Bitcoin 2016, back when it was like $300, and people were using it. Where I was using it, at least, was like trading Counter-Strike skins, and like seeing how amazing it was as like a tech moving money from somebody in the United States to someone halfway around the world. So I think we're early in the Web3 NFT space. Just wanted to say that, and these airdrops are kind of like telling me that we're in the right place. So cool to see that. We can talk about Looks now.
For sure. One other thing real quickly, topically, there were some more teasers yesterday floating around about Twitter wallet verification, as far as that integration that's going to allow people to display NFTs as a verified Twitter picture or banner. Yeah, so that's coming soon, and that's awesome.
Cool. So, in regards to Looks, we've seen it. I mean, it seems like every day now we're talking about it hitting an all-time high. We saw it at $2 yesterday. Big news is that it broke another all-time high. It was sitting at like 3.7, 3.6. Now it's sitting at 420. And it's trying to recover right now. It hit another all-time high last night. It got just over $4.60. I'm trying to really get a feel right now, Garrett. Anyone, feel free to chime in as far as what the general feel is from the whales on Twitter. What are they saying about what they're doing? Because yesterday the consensus was guys are still holding big bags of it, but now it's like it's getting so high. I don't know if they're still involved in it.
Whales are accumulating and staking. A lot of the buys are whale buys, especially from the initial couple of days. That was the trend. You would see like even numbers of Looks, 400, 800, 1200 being dumped, and those are just the airdrop receivers. And then all the buys were like 5 ETH, 10 ETH, 30 ETH, and we've really seen that trend continue. It bottomed out yesterday at like 260, 270, which would have been a great entry. And I'm kicking myself for not jumping on it. I was watching it, and then it just rocketed back up. And you can see all the green candles are insanely aggressive, which does indicate it's whales that are causing this price increase. It's really crazy. So yeah, I think that this is a coin that if you're smart on, you can get some good scalps in and out.
Yeah, I think we definitely didn't play it as well as, I mean, I personally didn't play it as well as I would have liked. I sold on the initial receiving of it. I think when we talk about whales, though, those are typically the folks in the market that don't need money, and they're happy to leave the Looks staked and buy more because they're earning passively on every sale that happens on the platform. So yeah, I think bullish on it long term, just because of the types of big names that are in there. I think Pranksy's an early investor, so there's a bunch of other bigger guys that are in there. So yeah, I like it long term. Like Garrett said, a good entry was yesterday. But if you believe in the mission and think that there should be an alternative to OpenSea, I don't hate buying it with the expectation that it just continues to slowly increase.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
100%. And one trend, like a good contrast to draw in these airdrops, and I also am a bit regretful for selling like a good chunk of my initial earnings from the airdrop on the first day. One trend that I think holds true so far with these airdrops is that if there's any type of like Web3 utility and actual use case, then you should hold on to that. It's worth holding that airdrop in speculation, and that would fall under both ENS and Looks. LooksRare. Both of those are highly functional, growing Web3 services and platforms. And contrast that with SOS and some of these other tokens that really don't have any clear functional utility. Even though they advertise, oh, it can be used for blah 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 blah, there's nothing really tangible there. So I think that's the contrast. So that's why ENS would have been a great hold. Not dumping initially, as well as LooksRare kind of falls in the same category. So that's going to be my rule of thumb moving forward. Is there a real clearly defined Web3 use case for this token and the tokenomics behind it? Or is it just simply an airdrop with some initial liquidity pooled up? And if so, I'm going to dump it.
Yeah. And this morning on Twitter, there was a lot of talk on Looks about, like, what are these big whales, like, how is the market going to look once these guys start exiting? And is there going to be any attention given towards that platform? And I think the general consensus is that Looks website has been having just as many issues as far as their marketplace as OpenSea has. So it's not like they're a perfect platform, and people understand that. But I don't think we're going to see, like, once the token's done and once everyone's out, I don't think we see some big takeover as far as everyone migrating from OpenSea. Like Aiden said this morning, everyone's going to go where everyone else is. So I think everyone's going to stay on OpenSea. I think at this point, everyone's going to stay on OpenSea and know they're just going to figure out their stuff. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think the wash trading is another thing to watch. Wash trading, for those that don't know, is basically like friends trading NFTs and buying each other's and basically selling them back. We saw a lot of whale activity doing that on a project called MeBits. Basically, these big guys buying each other's stuff for super inflated prices, basically to kick them back the royalties for their staked looks. So they're obviously earning passively. They're not making money on the NFTs, but if that issue continues, I would imagine that LooksRare obviously seeks to mitigate that and remove that. But that is something that people are doing right now. Something to be aware of, I guess, the macro trend of LooksRare.
Let's get into Solana because people are asking about it and we wanted to talk about it anyways. First, today we had the Bull Empire drop. McKay hit one. What did you do with that drop? And this kind of goes with like Solana the past couple weeks, to be honest. It's been really, really bullish, easy to make some money.
Yeah, I hadn't done much research other than when Aiden posted it. I just knew that we keep seeing these Solana projects launch, take off, and boom, instantly it's 2, 3, 4, 5x. So these minted for 2 SOL, which I was almost a little intimidated by because I had done no research on it. But I sold it for 10 SOL right after mint. They shot up to like 14. There were sales for 22, 33 SOL, and there still are big sales. Now the floor is sitting at 12.6. There's still volume. If I hadn't sold at 10, I would have exited by now without a doubt. But it's just crazy. That's an easy 6x, which was kind of unexpected. They don't look terrible. They have a huge following from overseas. There's a big Asian market for their project. And yeah, and then we saw Malibu Dolphin Mixers launch today, just a little bit ago for 0.6.
And they're one floor right now as I'm showing them here.
Yeah. Yep,
so again, you made some money. You made half a SOL or so, close to it.
Yep.
So most of these, like this Dolphin Mixer, like I just don't like the art. I'd just sell it and get my profits. But that's just me. Somebody asked about SOL projects and anticipating an OpenSea launch. So it wouldn't switch. It would just be available there, Mason. So you'd have Magic Eden would be just like Rareable is to OpenSea now. So I'm doing some anticipation. I actually told these guys I bought a Mindfolk a few days ago because I think it could be like a blue chip project once they go on OpenSea, because I love the art and I've always done pretty well with just following things I really think are sweet and unique. So I did that, and so I think if you're doing the same by buying some projects like you mentioned, Monkey Ball, they're really cool, and you also mentioned one I never even heard of, Solo Fox. Again, it's a cool, they look really cool. I don't know anything about them, but just the idea of getting into projects you really like and believe in right now, I can't say, like, I think that's a good play if you're in the NFT space, because the risk seems pretty low in comparison to other things to be buying solid Solana projects for OpenSea. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not much else.
Are you
to
guys
roll.
doing anything with Solana stuff, longer term, like investing at all, or just quick flipping? Like, did any
No, I
of you
Quick
guys?
flipping.
Yeah, I'm exclusively quick flipping still. I
Okay.
really like the quick flips and aftermarket
Of course.
scalp into the FOMO right after a soul mint, and then just like trying to flow that into ETH.
Yeah, I would be trying to mint quick flip projects like these Bull Empires, project like the Dolphins today, and then if you really believe in OpenSea and there being a pump once that happens, then looking to get into what you'd consider more long-term blue chip projects. So, I like that's
Yeah,
my
and I
that's
think
my
Degen
A lot of
apes.
our members and my long-term goal would be, like Garrett said, float any of the like big Solana plays I make just right back into ETH, and then like this is just like a stepping stone into big ETH projects. Is how I view it. Really.
The Degen apes seem like a decent value for where they're at and what Solana's priced at. Because man, when Sol was above 200, I distinctly remember seeing these apes like at 70, 80 Sol floor, maybe even a little bit higher at points. And right now we've got cheap Solana 100 and some change, and the ape floor is like 40 Sol. So for being like what is considered one of the main blue chip Solana projects, I feel like those have decent value if that's your move, is to buy and hold something.
Yeah, these used to be, when Solana was around 200, you're talking about like 16 grand. And so you're at like, what, 5 grand, I'm just going to guess?
Yeah,
You know, 40
4,500, 5 grand.
Solana, 40 yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't hate that. Like I'm saying, I'm doing a little different than those guys by, I'm not moving my Solana gains and stuff over to Ethereum currently. I'm trying to prepare for a longer term play, which is buying what I love in terms of art, and just hoping that pays off again. So yeah, that was a good question, Mason. Any thoughts on cop games? I don't have any thoughts just because I haven't looked into it. Have you guys really looked into this? I know it minted like the past week or so, and I went for them, but outside of that, I have no thoughts.
Yeah,
on
I
them.
know it's a play to earn game. From what I understand, there's some sort of in-game token that is called loot. I don't know if there's actually like an aftermarket value on Dex tools for loot, but it's some sort of 2D play to earn game where you're collecting loot by you're either like a cop or a robber, and you are like basically paying some sort of fee to do certain tasks in the game. That's how I understand it. I haven't done a ton of research on it other than when I looked into it earlier this week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think many of us have. All right, was there any other NFT
Yeah.
NFT stuff today?
I mean, not really. I did want to touch on just the like crypto market right now. I mean,
Oh, that's right.
as far as what it's going to do long term, I have, not to be spoken of, but just in regards to today specifically, Ethereum's up to almost 3,400, Solana's at 151, it's up 6%, Bitcoin's is almost at 44. So we're seeing recovery after seeing ETH dip under 3 late last week, which was big, and that was we saw that coming. Like Vince, are you accumulating? What do you see right now?
I honestly, I personally feel like we're still going lower, and then I couple that with the people I trust the most saying that we're likely going to continue downward. So I'm not, this is not like we're going to recover right now. but
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
possible.
because
but that's
whales aren't buying right now.
yeah. If you look at in my opinion, the most powerful analytic is the wallets with over 1,000 Bitcoin. You saw back before the April tank to 30, they just were, it's called Wyckoff distribution. They're distributing their Bitcoin to the market slowly at the price above basically 55, 60,000. And then all of a sudden the market just crashes. And they are not accumulating Bitcoin right now. It's flat since basically April. So the big boys, the whales that can actually do stuff, moving markets and all that, they're not accumulating yet. So in my opinion, I'm more bearish than bullish. I'm not going to buy into these small 5%, 10% days right now. So
Got it.
yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's talk about Walmart cards. We had that on our list.
Yeah, we should see. We do expect Walmart to just restock cards at 3 today. They've been consistent. They've done it for like 4 or 5 weeks now in a row, where it's just normal 3 p.m. drop. They'll do it like 20, 30 seconds after the hour. I think we're probably going to see Mosaic restock again today. We didn't see Ultra Premium last week. Obviously, that's the priority. They're still selling for well over 200, which is fine. Retail's like 120. Price check is at 130. If Mosaic drops, if they were to drop Mosaic Megas today, I do plan on buying them. But right now, there's Walmart does not have a product page loaded where they are the seller on Mosaic Megas. So I think should be just a pretty standard Walmart release, nothing crazy, and shouldn't be too hard to touch if someone was interested in grabbing a Mosaic product.
Cool. And then first off the line Mosaic real quick. Bottom price was, you guys were buying them at 7. Was that right?
Yeah. Yeah, we bought at 7. The floor was 675.
675. Yeah.
We had a good call on those. I think they're right now, Nico, if you're here, I think they're right around above 800. Nico, what's the market at for them?
Yeah, most of the eBay sales are like in the ballpark of 900 or so. I know, Slumped, I think you had the StockX numbers. I think those are sitting in the high 800s, but
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead. Did we lose Nico?
We might have lost them.
Yeah, they're at 975. No one's purchased any. So the highest bid is 860 on StockX. Let's see completed sales here.
So I mean, really, anyone who bought a case is going to be making a couple thousand.
Yeah.
Because probably going to be clearing 100 profit on each pretty easily.
Yeah, it looks like 890 one sold, 935, 875 on eBay here. So yeah, I mean, you did pretty well on those.
Yeah.
In my experience with first off the line products, the longer you hold these, the more you get out of it. So I still have those first off the line select NBA hobby boxes, and those of, I think they're like 1700 now.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought in at like, I think 800, and that wasn't even the bottom back then. So these do excellent long-term demand for first off the line. It's like first edition, so the demand, as the supply diminishes, the demand kind of stays the same because of those exclusive parallels, autographs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cool. I don't have anything else today.
Card product and first off the line when it comes to that stuff.
Sweet. Yeah, I think that was about it.
I think that's all for the day. That's all I got.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think we hit it pretty well.
Buy Encanto vinyls. I
Azuki
saw
in 25 minutes. Don't sleep.
Yeah, those should be solid. I mean, obviously you have time to watch it as it goes down.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to try to send it at 1 ETH, to be honest.
I don't.
Seems like that's the
You think
sentiment
so?
in the Discord is that
Oh,
people are
man.
saying like people are saying they're going to send it at 1 ETH, but no
I'm
one's
not
talking
doing
about
that.
actually sending it.
I'm not doing that, dude.
We're going to see.
What's your what's your plan of attack with this? I want to ask you.
I want to go. I really want to spend like 0.6 per, but
Okay.
But if we see the contract and the mids start flying in, I think we got to go in when the mids start going.
Okay.
But we'll treat it like a live drop.
There we have it.
He drops.
Tomorrow we'll be back and we'll see how Aiden does with this 0.6 buy.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Peace.
Later, guys.